Yo, Bucko, it's Zero. Come back to you with another figure review. And today we have one of the figures I've been really hoping would get an update for the face, and that's the Star Wars Black Series Kanan Jarrus. And damn, I'm impressed by the new face printing on this guy. They took a really good figure that was just being held back by the original face paint and made this probably one of my new favorite figures, but before we take a look at the box, just who was Kanan Jarrus? Well, he was formerly known as Caleb Doom before Order 66. After Order 66, he went into hiding and he worked as a smuggler for a while, then changed his name to Kanan Jarrus eventually, and he met Hera and helped her out before he offered to join her as a crew member of the Ghost. He eventually became the leader of the Ghost crew and took the title of Spectre 1. He eventually met Ezra, took him under his wing, trained him as a Padawan, and honestly, you already know the rest of that story. I could talk about Kanan all day, but just go watch Rebels if you haven't. He's an awesome character. Anyways, let's take a look at the box. The original box was number 19, so yeah, this is a much needed. You could tell how long it's been. This is a much needed improvement. Everything about this figure is an improvement, paint wise. This is already a freaking awesome figure before the repaint, but this is a much needed update to him. Anyways, front of the box, you got Kanan Jarrus, got your Star Wars Rebels logo, your side of the box, Kanan Jarrus number 19, and then here's this side of the box. Very, very sexy artwork. Also says Kanan Jarrus at the bottom. The back of the box. Alright, so the original bio for Kanan says, Kanan Jarrus survived the Emperor's Purge, going underground for years, and hiding the truth about the Jedi he really was. He was the leader among the Ghost crew, and with the emergence of the Force-sensitive Ezra, once again embraced his identity as a Jedi Knight. And then on the new box it says, Kanan Jarrus. Not every Jedi perished in Order 66. Kanan Jarrus survived the Emperor's Purge, going underground for years, and hiding the truth about who he really was. So you get a pretty decent story between the two of these of who this guy is. Right? And on the side of the box, the old one, it says, I didn't even realize this was cut differently on the old one, but yeah. It says Kanan J. You can't. There's not really lettering there. The new box, this just says Star Wars Black Series, and it's funny because this side on both of them is a lot smaller in like the middle of the red series, so that's interesting. Both of them have the window boxes, and my God, this is dusty. And the bottom of the box is your unreadables, as always. And then going to this artwork again. He is number 4, so let me go grab these other boxes real quick. And these do line up pretty nicely. On these two, you can actually see the Ghost on the top. I need to get a bigger setup because my if I raise the camera up a little bit, it would be just off center. So, and you'd see the top of my setup. Actually, I could raise it up just a little bit, actually. Alright, enough gushing over this packaging. I've waited a really long time to get this guy updated. It's one of my favorite figures before, but let's get him out of the box and enjoy him all over again. And here he's out of the box, and oh man, this is already one of my favorite figures to begin with, but this updated face paint absolutely makes the figure. But before I take a closer look at it, let's show off the 2 accessories that come with it. Right, and here is his DL18, and compared to the old one, it seems to be a lot better painted. It's the same exact dry brushing and everything, but I feel like this is just more well done. Yeah, it's just better applied. It just makes it look a lot better. I don't know, this pistol is always one I'm happy to get, and it just makes me, you know, I don't know why I love this pistol so much, but it's just like, you know, space pirate pistol. I love it. Glad they included this with him. I mean, this is the pistol he uses, but always glad to get another one of these pistols. And then in terms of his other accessories, comes with his lightsaber, and this one's a little bent, so that's kind of unfortunate. But let's show it off next against the old one. The old one's kind of bent too, but yeah, the old one. This is the old one. This is the new one again. As far as I can tell, they're the exact same paint scheme. The old one has a slightly darker silver there, for the hilt, and then the new one, yeah, it's just this hilt is actually a lot more bent. So pick your poison: bent blade or bent hilt. I think this one has always been one of my favorite lightsabers in the show, but I love it for another reason, and I think this is one of my favorite lightsaber molds just because it actually comes apart like it does in the show. That's freaking awesome. And of course, you can put that onto his belt. Like, in terms of functionality and playability, that you can't tell me that's not awesome. Also, I forgot to show off that the blaster does go in the holster. So yeah, this is, in terms of playability, posability, functionality, this is one of the coolest figures. Like, this is hard to beat, honestly. And then of course, I should just show this off real quick. The original lightsaber, this is unpainted. So this is painted. Oh well. That's painted, that's not painted, so it's good to know which one's which. Now we're going to take a closer look at the two figures, and just starting at the face. Do I even have to tell you which one's the old figure? I mean, look at this caveman. This, man, I love this figure with this bad face paint, but this is just miles better. Jeez. Obviously, he's got the darker hair on this one. It's a little more shiny, a little more realistic. This looks so much better, though. Going in the back, they're pretty much the same exact paint colors, so not too much different there. On the side, they even like straightened up the paint. Paint is so much sharper on the new one. I mean, this is actually looks correct. This is like rounded off. This one's brighter. This one looks more correct. This one's more accurate. I mean, oh my god, that's amazing. This even has like a paint splotch here. I don't like that. This one's smooth, clean. I have a paint problem here. Again, not a big deal, but it's one of those things. It's just obnoxious, you know. So glad to get that updated. The belt on the old one is like a silver. This one's like a black color, I guess. It's not too big of a difference. And going down to the boots, they're pretty much exactly the same. Yeah, pretty much this just is the same exact figure with way better face paint. Hell, did they even redo the face mold for that? It looks like they just straight up redid the head mold for that. Like, miles better. Jeez. Everything's so clean on this figure. Like, his beard is straightened out. Like, oh my god. That's enough gushing over this figure. Let's move on to the articulation real quick. From the head, it has a hinge and ball joint at the neck. It's an older mold, so you're not going to get the best range of movement, but it's still pretty decent for what you're getting. You got a hinge and swivel at the shoulder. This shoulder moves a lot better than this one. This one's restricted by the big armor plate, but I mean, that's to be expected. The armor plate is a little loose, but I wouldn't recommend just pushing it too far. He's got a hinge swivel at the elbow on both sides. This is an older figure still, so you gotta like forgive it in some places. He's got a hinge swivel at the wrist, I believe. Oh, this one goes. Yeah, both of them go side to side, so no up and down wrists on this one. I think you got a ball joint at the torso, but you're really not gonna be doing too much with it. You got a. Alright, this leg isn't gonna be moving too much just because of that holster, but this leg doesn't go back too far. It goes more sideways. It goes out that far. And this is how far sideways you can go. And you got a double jointed knee. He cannot kick his own ass unless you force him to. He has a thigh swivel, which I totally missed somehow. Don't mess around with the thigh swivel on this side. Does this unplug, actually? No, it doesn't. I don't think it does. I'm not messing around with that. And I'm not pulling apart the other figure either, because I'm giving that to someone. And we have a hinge at the ankle and a forward-facing pin for rocker. Alright, and now it's time to pose this badass. Alright, now let's show him off next to some other figure. And here he is next to the original Black Series Stormtrooper and the second sister. And here he is next to the Mandalorian and Boba. And here he is next to the other members of the Rebels crew that I currently own. And finally, here he is next to Luke Skywalker Squawker. And man, if you couldn't tell, I fell in love with this figure all over again. Go get this guy if you don't have him. If you're on the fence about Kanan, this is definitely the definite version of him. And the only reason that I would say not to buy this guy is because there's a tiny chance they might re-release him later in the future with his mask and a new face paint after he becomes blind. But honestly, I don't see that happening anytime soon if it does happen. It's definitely worth the upgrade, definitely worth the box. It's super sexy, so don't pass this up. And as always, you can bring them in warm or you can bring them in cold. Good hunting, and thanks for watching.